All right, we are actually going to look at grouping when there are four terms and you need a factor. So the first step, always to factoring, is looking for a greatest common factor. So I'm looking at my four terms. First thing I'm looking at are my coefficients. I have 90, negative 36, negative 150, and positive 60. So I'm going through some possible like terms. 2, going through 3, going through 4, 5, 6. And when I go through it in my head, I'm thinking, all right, 2 goes in all these numbers, but so does 3. So does 6. So what I'm first going to do is factor out a 6 from all four of my terms. The other thing I look at is my variables, and I have an AU, an AV, a YU, and a YV. And all four terms do not share one common variable, so I have no other common factors. So I factor out a 6 from each of my terms. 6 goes into 90 15 times, leaving me with 15 AU. 6 goes into negative 36, negative 6 times, and I still have my AV. 6 goes into negative 150, negative 25 times, leaving me with negative 25 YU. And 6 goes into 60 10 times, leaving me with plus 10 YV. Okay? So something I remember from Algebra 2 is I'm pulling this 6 all the way down to the bottom because he is going to be a part of my final answer, my final factor. Now, I'm looking inside of my parentheses where I have 15 AU minus 6 AV minus 25 YU plus 10 YV. I know I have a little bit of a glare. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit for you. Still a bit of a glare. All right, it's a little bit more legible in general, but that last term is plus 10 YV. All right, so when I'm going to group, I'm looking to group two of my terms together. They don't have to necessarily be in that order, but when I'm grouping my pairs, they should share something in common. In this case, I'm actually going to stick to my order. I have 15 AU and 6 AV. I know that both of these terms share a variable, the letter A, and 15 and 6 are both divisible by a common number. So I factor out a common number of 3 from both 15 and 6, as well as an A, leaving me with 5U minus 2V. Now the other two terms, I noticed that they both had the letter Y, so they were my best ones to be paired. Something that's funky about grouping is they don't necessarily have to be in the correct order. I could have had this negative 6AV over here, but still wanted to group him with the 15 AU. Just move things around that works best for you. Make the problem work for you. Now a number that goes into both negative 25 and positive 10 is the number 5. So now I'm actually going to take out negative 5 because my first term was negative. And I'm also taking out the letter Y. Left inside, I have negative 5 times what will be positive 5U, because negative 5Y times 5U, that would get me negative 25YU. Now, when I factor out negative 5Y from positive 10YV, I'm actually left with negative 2V. The end goal here is to end up with the same quantity inside parentheses. Now, sometimes you may not end up with the exact same quantity, but typically, if you do your math correctly, you're able to multiply everything by negative 1 and make them actually work for you. In this case, I do not need to worry about it. Since all of these terms, we have 3a, negative 5y, they both share this thing being multiplied by them of 5u to v. I know that 5 times u minus 2 times v gives me one of my factors. What's left over is the term 3a and negative 5y. So we have 3a minus 5y. Here's my factoring. Now, my last step is just to bring it down to that 6 we had left out earlier, and we have our complete factorization of my 4-term polynomial. Remember, you're going to take one of the factors, pull him down, they should be the same, And the other two leftover guys create your other factor. And now you have grouping.